Ravi Rai is a film director. Kasturi Shankar is an actor. I thank both of you for giving us your time. Ravi Rai, I want to begin by asking you, nudity is something that has been a subject of art for millennia, right? And I'm not just talking about, let's say, the Greek nude statues or the Roman culture where painting statues of individuals were nude. But even in India, we've had art which depicts people nude. So what should be the objection, if at all, to Ranveer Singh's photographs?
I mean, very honestly, Shivani, like they all say, the difference between nudity and erotica is just one backlight. That makes all the difference. One dim backlight makes something an art, or it makes it very obscene. Over a period of time, we've seen so much of, I don't know whether I should use the word nudity or not, but we've seen so much of body paint, artwork. I mean, which shows everything and which makes us zoom on the parts which are under the wear. I mean, do they fall into the laws that you quoted just now? I mean, do they all fall? I mean, today we are talking about Ranveer Singh. Where does Urfi Javed fall? Does she also fall under these sections of IPC? I mean, why don't we talk about that? And insult of modesty to women, I mean, is there a reverse law to that also? I mean, is there a law which so I personally feel कि रणवीर पकड़ा गया. Otherwise, we all have our moods. I mean, we have variants about reacting to nudity or, I mean,
what do you think? Are these
erotica,
pictures
whatever we
obscene?
have. I mean, we've seen number.
No, the question, let me take that to Kasturi. Kasturi, I read out these sections that exist. They exist, I'm guessing, for good reason. As a society, we always have norms, which act as a balance, as a checker. And clearly, people in their wisdom, when they were drafting these rules and norms, and yes, they were done after long time ago, but when they were doing it, they wanted to shield the society from a certain level of either nudity or quote-unquote obscenity. Do you believe that everybody should be mindful when they present their bodies like this? Is it for public consumption, even if he's an actor? Or should such nude pictures be for your personal consumption?
Yeah, first, I'm a lawyer as well, even though I don't practice. I did qualify to be one. So I'm going to start with the legal definition of sexually explicit. The law mentions, even the Indian law mentions sexually explicit or sexually offensive, but they don't say nudity. Nudity is not considered indecent exposure. The phrase that specifically used as indecent exposure. The reason being, India is the land of nirvana. Nudity has been a part of our ancient culture. Our forebears in the medieval times, they wore a uttariya and an antariya. They, in fact, actually, even in my culture, which is the Tamil Nadu South Indian culture, just about 2 generations ago, my great-grandmother, she did not wear an upper garment. She draped a sari, but she didn't wear a blouse. So these are subjective issues.
No, but there's a difference. There's a difference between, Kasturi, one second. There's a difference between culture and there's a difference between using your nude pictures for publicity. I mean, this is not coming from a sense of culture, right? I mean, let's not kid ourselves. This is not coming from a sense of India's ascetic past. So I object to using India's ascetic, leanings and its sadhus and its other culture as a defense for this. Because I'm sorry, this is not coming as an expression of our culture.
Hear me out. What I'm trying to say, what I'm trying to say is nudity should be taken in context. I agree with your point that you cannot compare a religious ritual nakedness to an actor's buff pictures. But here's the thing, he's an actor. Actors are in the business of publicity, are in the business of exhibitionism. That's why they're actors. This is not a political leader. This is not a military leader. This is not an industrialist. If somebody like that had taken off their clothes, that could be news. That could be a controversy. But if Ranveer Singh takes off his clothes, we first of all, he's an actor. Second of all, he is known. He is known for his quirkiness. So I don't see where the shock value is coming from.
No, once again, I'm sorry. I don't intend to paint intend to paint these pictures as obscene. I think it is subjective. But I do object to the fact that when Ranveer does it, it's okay because he's an actor. If an industrialist was to do it, it's not okay. I don't think the law applies like that. The law doesn't take into account your profession. You're a lawyer, so if Ranveer has the freedom to do this, then anybody has the freedom to do this. If it's a problem for somebody else, it could be a problem for Ranveer. His profession does not define what is obscene or what is not obscene. But that brings me to the other question I'm also trying to, wrap my head around. The problem here is not about what you and I may take it as adults, we're in our 20s, 30s, 40s. Ravi Rai, the issue here, which possibly could be the biggest argument here, is that this is to be consumed by young people, by impressionable minds, by children. Do you feel in that regard this is problematic or still no?
I think no, Shivani. Why? I mean, there is also a lot of audio indecency and obscenity going on. I mean, OTT is full of audio. I mean, what is the difference? Who marks the fences and boundaries of all these? Isn't that indecent?
But that should also then be curbed, right? Or at least there should be a rating system. For a photo shoot, there cannot be a rating.
No, my point there is a visual indecency. Say that. And looking at the younger generation, they are totally open to Hollywood. They are totally open to everything on the net.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I really very honestly, coming back to Ranveer Singh, what you were talking about, I mean, he's an actor, he needs to publicize. वो एक बहुत अच्छा शेर था कि दुनिया है इश्तेहारी, हर शय है कारोबारी, जितनी हो जिसकी शोहरत उतना ही मर्तबा. So now, right now, I mean, I'm talking to you. My colleague is there. What are we giving Ranveer Singh? We are giving him the publicity that he wanted, and we are giving him.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, end of the day, I mean, an industrialist doesn't sell on a cover of Stardust, but a Ranveer Singh or a Ranveer Kapoor, or I mean, they do. That's their job. That's their business.
Let me draw a parallel to, for example, sports stars as well. There is a big culture in the West of sports, or of athletes also showing off their bodies. Kasturi, are we becoming very focused on our bodies in the sense that, not just in actors, but even amongst the common public, there is this increased hysteria of showing off your bodies. And I'm not really someone who has a problem with it, but I would not call it progressive either. This over-obsession with working out and showing off your toned bodies, is that truly healthy?
Is this to me?
Yes, Kasturi.
Who's the question addressed?
Yes, Kasturi, this is for you. Go ahead. Hello? I will rephrase. Yes, Kasturi, we're facing some audio issue with you. Can you hear me now? That question was for you, Kasturi.
Yes, I can hear you.
Yes, go ahead.
You asked me if that's healthy. Number one, no obsession is healthy. That said, positive role models and body image models have been there since eternity. In fact, I would actually go further to say that these days we have many progressive body image inspirations, motivators who publish, like, I remember Serena Williams. She had a very beautiful, very tastefully taken pregnancy photo shoot. And that's a pattern now in India as well.
Yeah.
We do have many mothers coming forward with their spouses or with the fathers, you can say, who are taking pregnancy photo shoots. So really, I think there's a good aspect to it, but anything can be abused. Even the most positive things can be abused.
So what's the